Everybody wants a hot website, but what is it that makes a website really effective and really successful? Well, some time ago I wrote a blog post called The 10 Keys to an Effective Website. I've got them written down right here. I want to review them with you. What are those 10 keys? Well, number one, decide on the purpose of your site. What are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to sell products or services or provide customer service? Are you trying to build a brand? Or are you promoting a cause, a political candidate? Once you decide on that objective, then you've got a much clearer picture of the things that you need to do with your website so that it fulfills the purpose and achieves the objective. Number two, make your homepage and your website about your visitors, not about yourself. So often we go to websites and they talk all about themselves. They keep saying, we're this, we're that, and they rarely say you. They rarely speak in the you and say, this is what we can do for you, or why this is important to you. So be audience focused, be visitor focused with your website. Don't just talk about yourself, talk about the visitors. That's what's really going to capture them and get them to stick with your website and continue to read on. Number three, reach out to your visitors by trying to establish some kind of continuous communication with them. Now that might be a blog, it might be a podcasting module, it might be an electronic newsletter, some way of providing them with information and allowing them to provide you with information in return so that you have a way to stay in touch with them and keep reminding them that your website exists, that your company exists, that you exist, so that they have a reason to keep coming back to your site. Number four, use a simple, clean, elegant design. Use plenty of white space. When you keep the design simple, then you have to make some choices. You have to prioritize a lot more than if you have a complex design with a whole bunch of elements on it. That gets confusing. So keep it simple, keep it clean, but keep it elegant. Number five, design each page with a dominant element, a dominant anchor on that page. Now it might be an article, it might be a photograph, it might be an illustration, it could be a graphic, it might be a video. The idea is that there's some element on that page that immediately attracts the eye, some centerpiece to the page around which the rest of the page is designed. The reason this is important is it gives the visitor something immediately to look at. It shows that you've made a priority out of a particular piece of content on that page. Now, if you design a page with all these different elements that are equally weighted, in other words, all of the elements are the same size, then a person doesn't know where to look. They don't know where to look first. The page has no prioritization, and it gets very confusing for the visitor. It's easy to lose a visitor that way. Number six, very important, offer prominent navigation links. Remember that when a person comes to our homepage, the rest of the site is blind to them unless we've got those clear navigation links. That's basically our table of contents. That's what tells them what else is on the site and where it is that they might also want to visit. So if we accomplish that, people are going to know what else we offer on that site and are going to be much more likely to spend more time on our site, visit more pages of the site. And always make sure your navigation links are working properly. There's nothing more frustrating than wanting to get to some information only to find out that the link is broken or it's taking you to the wrong page. Number seven, give your site personality. Make it stand out among the others in your industry or in your category. What I recommend you do is look at all the other sites in your category or industry, see what they're doing, and then you do something different. Design it differently, have a different voice on there. Make it conversational, make it interesting, make it colorful, whatever it takes. Something that makes you stand out and something that makes people connect with your site. When people connect with you in that way, they're much more likely to stay with your site and to come back to your site. We always want to make sure that we can differentiate ourselves. A company and a website, just like a person, can have a personality. After all, it's people or a person behind a website or a company. So always strive for some real personality on your site. Number 8, speak in terms that everybody understands. Using acronyms like CLR or CRM isn't really a good idea because not everybody understands that. Using industry jargon is not a good idea. It's like speaking a foreign language. You want to speak in normal conversational tones. So industry jargon, acronyms, and also phrases such as software solutions. We provide software solutions to businesses. Well, what are software solutions? What kind of software? Solutions to what problems? You want to make sure that you're giving people information that they really understand and is very clearly articulated, that they understand what it is that you have to offer and why it's relevant to them. Number 9, beware of flash animation. I know the flash animation makes a website look very slick. The problem is it loads very slowly in most cases, and people are very impatient. So while your flash animation is going through its gyrations, people are very likely to decide not to stick around, that they have other sites that they would like to visit and they bail out. Don't let a fancy software designer talk you into using flash animation. It might be good for his or her portfolio, but it isn't necessarily good for your site, and it isn't good for attracting and retaining visitors. Now, there are times when flash animation makes sense. You might be running a movie company, or you might be a video producer. In cases like that, you probably do want some type of video on the site. It doesn't have to be flash animation, but some type of video on the site. So there are times when flash animation makes sense. But in any event, make sure that it loads very quickly and it plays quickly so that you don't lose your visitors. Finally, number 10, make sure your website is fully optimized. Search engine optimization, that's that key phrase that we keep hearing over and over again. You want it search engine optimized so that people can find your website. And if you do business strictly locally, make sure it's optimized for local searches. That's all for now. Thank you for visiting, and please visit my website, mikeconsole.com. There's a lot more on my blog, and my URL, you can find it right in the headline. Thanks for visiting. Look forward to seeing you again.